If you want my tips and tricks on how to sew a great zipper pouch sewing pattern that's free and great for beginners, then you're in the right place. This is the perfect easy sewing project to use up scraps and expand your sewing skills. Hey sewing friends, it's Megan from Sew and Tell Australia here, a sewing blog where I share sewing education, video tutorials and pattern reviews to help you become a more confident and creative sewer. Expanding on the last episode of Social Moments with Megan where I shared my top 3 handmade gift ideas, this week I'm taking a closer look at a free pattern I tried and loved. I made this zipper pouch or clutch for my daughter's teacher as an end of year gift, and I wanted to share a few tips that I had to help you get a really nice finish on your project because it's a gorgeous pattern that can just be so versatile. Also make sure you watch until the end because I'm going to share with you a simple fix to avoid skip stitches while you sew. Before I forget, I am wearing an Ellie Mac dress today. So this is the Staycation and it is a fabric from So Unique Fabrics. It was one of their Soft Plus fabrics that they have, but it's getting a big workout at the moment because it is summer in Australia. So as much as Melbourne is crazy weather and some days it rains and some days it's sunny, I am getting good wear out of this. It's a tiered dress that I really love, so I'll make sure that I link that one in the description below. So today we're going to be talking about one of my latest makes, which is the Harlequin Pouch from So Modern Bags, and it is a free pattern. So everybody loves a free pattern and it makes such a really great gift. So my daughter wanted me to make something for her grade 1 teacher, so I actually made one out of a beautiful vinyl from the Tallery, and I also have made this one, which is this one is from Inklings and the Kraken. I can't remember where I got this gold flecked black from, but it comes together really well. But you know, it's just such a beautiful pattern. It comes together really easy as well. All the hardware I got from Dreamy Bag Hardware, but it's just a really simple pattern that comes together quite quickly. I probably made these in an hour and a half maybe. It wasn't too long at all. One of the biggest things is obviously the precision. You really want to make sure you're getting quite precise with your top stitching and just being really careful with what you do. So if you are new to making bags, I would probably suggest not using a vinyl. So if you want to get that sort of more precise look and you want to practice, I would be looking at doing it out of like a cotton poplin or a canvas or a drill. And just make sure if you are using the canvas or drill or cotton poplin that you are interfacing it. So you can interface it with something like Decaville Light. The first one I did, I actually interfaced the lining with a Decaville Heavy and it was too much. So this one I ended up doing the Decaville Light, but you could just use any kind of interfacing that you wanted. I'll pop a link below. I've actually got a great blog that I did about interfacing, so I'll make sure I link that in the description below if you want to have a look at that blog about the different types of interfacing. But if you are using a vinyl as well, I wouldn't interface the vinyl part. I interfaced my lining, but you don't need to interface the vinyl because the vinyl, it has enough stiffness. So it's definitely, you don't need to interface that. Now in terms of skills, some of the new skills you might learn are to how to sew with zips. It's got some really good instructions on how to sew with zips. And you know, some of the tips I have with zips is just go slow. Really, just take your time with your zips. Unpick it if you need to. Again, this is why I say don't use vinyl if it's your first time, because with vinyl, once you've pierced that fabric, it's not going to recover. So it's very hard to unpick a vinyl make without getting the holes. So if you are doing it for the first time, just try it on some canvas or cotton poplin. So I've used, as I mentioned, hardware from Dreamy Bag Hardware. Make sure I link it all below, but they have a really great range of different hardware and zips and zip pulls and all sorts of different things. So the other tip that I wanted to have, in the first one I did, I actually used the vinyl for the zip ends, which was sort of this bit here to enclose the zip end, and it was just too stiff. So it looks okay, but you know, it's just a bit too stiff, whereas this one, when I used just the cotton poplin from the lining, it actually just sits a lot nicer when it's finished. So I definitely would recommend not using vinyl for the zip ends and using something softer like a cotton poplin or just any kind of softer fabric really. And I didn't interface that, so I didn't need to. But yes, as I mentioned, it is important to be precise with your stitching if you want a really nice, clean looking bag. On this side, I didn't do too well, but on this side, I did much better. So hopefully the recipient doesn't notice. But a lot of the time that just takes practice. So one of the other things that I wanted to mention was you can use a seam roller. So a seam roller is just a little kind of rolling pin here that you can just roll down your seams to help flatten them. I found that was really helpful when I was working with the vinyl because it just kind of helped flatten it out while I was sewing each of the top stitching sides. And it's also important to use a sharp needle. I like to use the Microtex, the Schmetz Microtex. Huge fan of Schmetz. They are the best needles on the market. And I used the 9014, so I was pretty happy with that. Make sure you're using a fresh needle. You really want to make sure you've got a nice sharp needle when you're working with vinyl, because you really want to be able to pierce that leather or vinyl straight away without having any kind of snagging or, you know, just not looking nice. So that's going to give you the best option for that. And in terms of the stitch length, I tend to up my stitch length whilst I have a longer stitch length because I don't want too close together, because then you kind of get that perforated effect and your bag can fall apart quite quickly. But what I'll do is when I lengthen the stitch, I up my tension, so I've still got that nice and tight tension on my stitches so that they're not going to fall apart. So my biggest advice is just to give it a go. Like I said, it's a free pattern, so you know, not much can go wrong. There's an option for, you can do either the color blocked on both sides, or you can just have it, you know, flat on one side as one color, but give it a go. I think it is such a great pattern, and it's another one of those really quick, easy ones that you can bang together and give to friends or KK gifts, or, you know, any kind of handmade gift idea that you want to give to your friends and family. I do have one make that I wanted to share this week as well, which is this really cute curved hem tank, I should say. So this is a fabric also from So Unique Fabrics, and it is a free pattern, another free pattern from Ellie and Mac, the women's curved hem tank. I'll make sure I link it in the description below. But I did some knit binding on the edges as well with my baby lock, which it came up so beautifully. If you don't have the knit binders, definitely check them out. But this one is a really great one. I'm going to be wearing it lots over summer. It's just nice and easy to chuck over. It's quite flattering because it's got that kind of fit and flare look at the bottom, and I just added a nice little solid coloured pocket over the breast to give it a little bit of, you know, something else. My husband doesn't like the pocket. I don't know why. I think it's fine. He thinks it's a redundant pocket. I'm like, well, fashion isn't redundant. So that is one of the makes that I made this week that I wanted to share, and yeah, just share that resource of free pattern. Now for a fun one, sharing fabric hauls. I love going through fabric hauls, so let's have a look. So I got a haul from Frankie Bear Fabric this week. I might just put it here while I have a look. So this one is obviously Easter, and I know we're just looking at Christmas, but I am working on a fun project with Caesar. So this will be going towards that, which is a nice woven. They do still have some of this. So if you want to get a head start on your Easter sewing, go and grab some of their woven fabric. This one is super, super cute. So stay tuned for what that one is. Then I also got this one. I love this. My neighbor just had a baby, so I did a little bit of shopping for boy fabrics. She had a beautiful little boy, and also Ted loves this stuff. So they're all cotton lycra now. The only woven was the first one, but this one is a cotton lycra. So I'm thinking maybe like Waves and Wild overalls. I really love the Waves and Wild overalls. For Ted, I'm even thinking just a nice t-shirt or a little undersuit, but that one I think will look really good even if I did like a tank style onesie, and I could put some cream colored ribbing on the edges. But I love this one. So if you've got any suggestions for it, please comment what patterns you like. This one I also really love. It's just so cute, little farm animals. It just screams little boy to me. So this one I really like too. I think I'll probably end up making Ted a t-shirt as well, and possibly even my neighbor's little boy some little things as well. But I do like having a bit of a stash of just, you know, gender neutral plus boy related fabrics in my stash, just you never know when you might need them. But yeah, like I said, What do you think this should be? I'd love to have some suggestions. This one, I think I'm definitely going to make overalls out of this, because I can just see this being little shorty overalls, or even like a little retro shorts with retro tee type with a kanga pouch, tank and hood. Yes, I think that's what I'm going to do. So I think there's some lowland patterns that have that as well. But if you have any suggestions for this, I love this. But I just love the seagulls. Very Australian, very iconic, I think, to Australia. We spend our summers down by the beach, so I can definitely see this one getting a good workout. I just have to find time to sew it all. I don't know when I'm going to have time to sew it all. The strawberries is going to be, I think, a matching set for Ted and Gemma, because Ted is a strawberry fiend. I could honestly like sell a kidney to buy strawberries, the amount of strawberries my children eat at the moment. So I was like, well, I'm going to make a top for Ted and maybe a dress for Gemma, but I'll color block it to have, you know, because I got a meter of it, so I might pair it with like a red or even like a green to kind of match in with this. And I might look at even like an Ellie Mac Discoverer tee for the kids, because I think that's a really great one to, it's just a really good color blocked one that's easy to put together. So that is the strawberries. This one I liked because it's a little bit older, a little bit more edgy. It does scream sort of that more male, masculine look. So I can see a pair of shorts, or even like, you know, I could do a top or a tank or something. I quite like rainbow look as well without it being rainbow. So there's a really good Petite Stitchery & Co. I think it's the Skye ringer tee. I'll make sure I link it in the description below. And I could use this to really bring out some of the other colours. It's got 2 colour block stripes, which I really have liked making in the past. So you can sort of pick out some of the colours from in here to make other things like pop as well. So definitely we'll look at putting that one together again. When am I going to have the time? And then this last one, this is called like Tutti Frutti Fabric, Tutti Frutti, and I just love it. Like, it is just so cute. The little faces on the fruit just make it so beautiful. So that one, Ted is definitely going to get another t-shirt probably, or a tank, and I'll be making something for my neighbor as well. So that is, I might even make something for a little girl, like a little matching set for her and her brother, because I know, you know, I love matching my kids, and I know the kids like to match too. So that is my little haul from Frankie Bear Fabrics. Definitely go and check them out. They've got some amazing in-stock fabrics at the moment. So I'll make sure I link her below so you can check her out too. Okay, so if you've watched to the end, thank you. And I want to share my bonus tip with you. So an easy solution to stop skip stitches is to make sure you're changing your needles every 8 to 10 hours, or about every 3 sewing projects. So this ensures a nice sharp point and clean stitching. So even if you think your needles aren't blunt, they really can be, and I encourage you to change them. I think you'll actually be surprised at the difference it makes, because it really can just make sure you're getting that nice clean point through the fabric, and it's not, you know, risking snagging or missing the bobbin thread on the way up. And it's a really great and easy, simple tip to avoid skip stitches. That's it for another episode of Social Moments with Megan, your creative sewing chat. Thanks for joining me. If you want to make sure you don't miss any episodes, make sure you hit the subscribe and give the video a big thumbs up. It helps me so much. And you can also see all my socials. They're listed on the screen here or below if you want to come and hang out with me in the virtual world. I really love connecting with other makers, so please come. I hang out a lot on Instagram, drop into my DMs, and we can have a bit of a chat. But otherwise, I'll see you next time.